Good evening, y'all. I'm coming to you from my kitchen once again. And I was just eating dinner and something came to me. And it provoked a lot of thought and a lot of feeling and a lot of self reflection. I was just listening to Caroline Mace. Um, and she was talking about why people don't heal. And she was talking about language. She was talking about how what we say at a certain level is a piece of ownership. At a certain level of consciousness, what we say is ownership. We become attached to what we say, and what we say becomes a narrative that we live by. And we can become so entrenched in a certain way of thinking, in a certain narrative, in certain vocabulary, that ends up going from our narrative and what we say to it describing, it dictating us. And it becomes so ingrained in our thought patterns and in our identity. And so I just want to share with you a story about myself and my own experiences with that, and my own experiences with sickness and thought patterns and my own personal narrative. And I came to Asheville over 10 years ago. I was a little punk rock kid. I was angry. I had a lot of issues growing up. I had a lot of problems. I had a lot of trouble from the get-go. And for the longest time, I thought, why me? And as a youth, I was so non-singular. I was so, as youth, we are entrenched in other youth. We are entrenched in our, our sphere of kids we go to school with, of kids our age. It is almost unavoidable unless maybe you're homeschooled or you live in isolation somewhere. But as a youth, there's a communal aspect of being young and finding identity. And so for me, that punk rock, that anger, that aggression, it gave me this knowing during my difficult time periods, this identity. It gave me this knowing that I wasn't alone. That's why I was attracted to those people. That's why I was attracted to that music. It gave me this space where I knew that I wasn't alone in how I was feeling. And that connection that created really allowed me to connect and to move through and out of a very negative, painful family situation that I was in. That I wasn't really aware of it actually being the problem, that family situation. I just naturally grew, and my goals set me beyond that because I had this connection to a greater sphere of people who were feeling the same thing, and so that helped create a greater trajectory to me connecting outside of whatever pain was isolating me. And so I left home after I graduated high school, and it was tumultuous, up and down with high school. I did isolate. I even self-harmed. But what really, kept me going was finding tribe again and again, finding people I identified with, finding that connection. And I found it through these clues, these things that I identified with, that my pain identified with, and that these solutions that I would find, these ways of thinking, these lifestyles. I was vegan. I was, into a lot of different philosophies and exploring my mind, and so that led me to to find healthier relationships step by step and work on myself. And so I left, and I was homeless, and I rode freight trains, and I didn't ride freight trains because I was necessarily consciously saying, I'm running. But what it was this connection to this greater sphere, of adventure, of a different life. And all of that, when I was on the street, came crashing down on me. All of that came crashing down on me when what I had left behind in the negative family situation, the difficult, painful family situation I was in, it found its way into the relationships I was in on the street. And so then I had an abusive friend, a friend who talked down to me. And so that made me go, I can't do this anymore. I gotta leave again. And so all the while, I eventually came to the realization through connecting with a friend who was about to leave me. I ended up connecting with another friend who I was on the street with. And he was about to leave me because I was pushing him away, because I was beginning to realize what I was running from. And so I was so scared of it. I was trying to push people away and isolate myself because I was so scared of that truth. And I didn't even really consciously understand it until it was kind of a life and death situation where this friend, I was in such a vulnerable and such a scared state, and I was falling apart inside. I could not take care of myself, especially out there. And so this friend didn't know what was going on, and he was about to leave me. And I came out and I told him what happened. He was the second person next to my brother who I told what happened. And it was actually the first time that I knew in my body that I had been molested when I was a child. And so I'm telling you this story because I want you to know, because I know that somebody is out there who, because I've had this narrative myself, this vocabulary, throughout my whole healing period, where I have felt like I am the only one, where I have carried this pain and this sadness and this heavy weight, and I have felt like I am the only one, and I can't talk about it, and I can't share it with people because it's so scary. It hurts so much. And so holding that inside has slowly hurt me. And that's what it does. It's a toxicity. When you don't talk about what has happened to you, and so I ended up getting help. 10 years ago, I got off the street as soon as I realized that. That's why I came to Asheville, North Carolina. And I did get off the street. And I, time and time again, found people, step by step, and slowly have brought this excavated this trauma to the surface, through, different therapies, etc., through trial after trial, getting kicked out of houses, on the verge of being homeless again, not knowing where my next job is going to come from, where I'm going to get money for my next house, having to sleep on friends' couches, having to sleep on strangers' couches. I have pawed my way through this. And I'm telling you this because I'm not looking for sympathy. What I know for a fact, because this has been the truth for me, has been that knowing that someone else has gone through this, knowing that someone else has gone through this pain, has gone through something similar, something devastating, something earth-shattering, something hard, something difficult, something that you can resonate with, whoever you are that's listening. Whatever pain you are in and you think you're alone, I want you to know that you are not. And that simple truth, knowing that, can make all the difference in your healing. And so I want you to hold on to that. Hold on to that and know that there are other people out there who have been through what you're going through and who can relate and feel and hold space for your pain. I want you to know, don't give up. Keep going. Whatever you're going through. At this time right now, it is very difficult for a lot of people. There's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of uncertainty. And I just want you to know that you are not alone. And I love you. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.